Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You ever hear something so insane, so wildly disrespectful, that it doesn't even register as real at first? That was me. Sitting on the edge of my bed, holding my mom's old wedding photo like it could answer the question I hadn't even asked yet. How do you process your father sleeping with your aunt? Like, what is the protocol for that? Do you cry first? Or throw up? I did both. In that order. But let me start from the beginning. Before the night I heard the fight. Before the ugly truths started unraveling. Before I made the decision to burn everything down. Metaphorically. Kind of. Let me tell you what really happened when I found out my dad betrayed us with my mom's own sister. I was home from school for the summer. College life had already aged me 10 years, but nothing had me ready for what I was about to find in that house. It started with laughter. Not the happy kind, no. The awkward, high-pitched type that's trying to cover something up. You know that laugh people do when they're lying and pretending not to? That was my Aunt Trina. She had been around a lot lately, helping out, cooking, cleaning, being supportive. My mom thought it was sweet. I thought it was weird. One day, I'm in the hallway, and I hear my aunt giggle from the living room. Then my dad goes, "Stop playing with me, Trina." Playing? Ain't no grown man telling his sister-in-law to stop playing unless somebody is playing. And it's a dangerous kind of game, so I start watching. And what I noticed, they don't touch, but they stand too close. They don't talk much, but when they do, there's this undercurrent. Like something happened that neither one of them wants to talk about. But they also can't help but revisit it with their eyes. I caught my dad adjusting his belt and buttoning his shirt in the laundry room. My aunt walked out 2 minutes later, fixing her hair. And the worst part? They didn't even look surprised to see me, just annoyed, like I was the one interrupting. I wish I could say I confronted them right then. I didn't. I just walked backward out of the hallway and pretended like I hadn't seen a damn thing. I needed more proof, something undeniable. Because if I was going to blow this up, I had to be sure the explosion would hit the right targets. So I did what any emotionally damaged, nosy daughter would do. I started spying. I took mental notes. My dad started locking his phone. He never used to. My aunt stopped sleeping in the guest room and started leaving late without saying goodbye. My mom, bless her heart, was clueless, or maybe just in denial. But here's where it gets weird. Trina started treating me differently, like I was a threat, asking me where I'd been, who I was talking to. Did I hear anything strange around the house? It was subtle, but she was trying to throw me off. Guilt was turning into paranoia. And then it happened. One night, I'm in the kitchen, grabbing a late snack. I open the freezer, and something falls from the top shelf. A little pink envelope. Out of place, hidden behind a box of waffles. It wasn't addressed. Just one word written in cursive. Ours. I opened it. Inside was a photo. My dad, shirtless, in bed, taking a selfie, and on his shoulder, clear as day, was Trina's tattoo, the dumb one she got in Cancun that says Queen Energy in a fake royal script. The envelope also had a key to a hotel room, room 2114, June 3rd. That's my parents' anniversary. And yes, I showed up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Terry, Why would you go to that room? Alone? At night? Because when you've seen your dad and your aunt play emotional twister for weeks, you stop playing it safe. I didn't want closure. I wanted blood. I waited outside room 214 for 20 minutes. I almost left, but then the door opened, and who do I see? My dad, in a robe, holding champagne. He froze when he saw me, like his soul left his body and went straight to hell. I didn't even have to say anything. I just stared at him. Then, I kid you not, Trina walks out of the bathroom laughing and says, "Babe, I found the strawberries," and stops cold when she sees me. I said nothing. I handed my dad the envelope, turned around, and walked out like I was in a damn music video. But this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. 2 days later, my mom sat me down. She knew. She always knew. She looked tired. Not just physically, but soul tired. You ever look at someone you love and realize they've been pretending to be okay for years? That was her. She told me she found messages on my dad's phone 3 years ago, but she stayed. She said, "Terry, we built a life, a house. You. That doesn't just disappear because of one mistake." But it wasn't one mistake. It was a full-blown second relationship. She said Trina begged her not to ruin the family, that it was over, that it was just grief bonding after my grandmother passed. Grief bonding? Who does that with their sister's husband? I asked her why she didn't leave. You know what she said? Because I wanted you to graduate without chaos. I didn't want to break the world you thought was safe. I broke right there, but I wasn't going to let them keep breaking her too. Terry's risky move, so I made a fake account. Messaged Trina as Derek, an old boyfriend she had in high school. I knew her type. I baited her. Within 2 weeks, she sent nudes. That woman has no loyalty, not even to the man she was betraying her sister with. So now I've got Trina's nudes, the digital smoking gun. I could have gone quiet, tucked it in a folder, saved it for the next family reunion like a petty little time bomb. But no, I was too mad, too disgusted, too ready. So I sent them to my dad. No caption. No warning, just sent. 3 minutes later, he calls. I let it ring. Then he texts, "We need to talk. Please don't tell your mom." I printed everything, the messages, the photos. I slid them in a manila envelope and dropped it right on the kitchen table like a sick little Christmas present. Then I sat down to wait. My mom came in first. I thought she'd scream, cry, collapse. She just stared at it, hands shaking, face blank. My dad walked in behind her, saw the envelope, froze. Then Trina showed up. Y'all, I don't even know why she was at the house that day. She was just bold like that. Thought she was invincible. So what happened next? Chaos. My mom threw the envelope. My dad tried to stop her. Trina had the audacity to say, "This is not the time." So I stood up, looked at her dead in the face, and said, "Actually, it's the perfect time. You remember June 3rd, room 214. That's when my mom said something that changed everything. She looked at Trina, eyes full of hate and pain, and said, "You swore you'd never tell him he was the father." Everything went silent, like horror movie silent. My dad's face dropped. I turned to my mom. "What?" She wouldn't look at me. So I turned to Trina. She did. And then she said, I didn't want it to happen. It was one night, and he was drunk. I was grieving. We both were. That's when my stomach flipped. Oh, wait. Are you saying one of Trina's kids might be Dad's? Trina nodded. My dad just sat down, like someone cut the strings on his spine. Y'all, this wasn't a fling. This was generational betrayal. A whole child was walking around with the wrong last name, playing Uno at family cookouts, and no one knew who her real father was. And here's the kicker. My cousin Shayla, the one who always looked like me, same eyes, same laugh. Yeah, it was her. We did the test. Had to. 3 weeks of silence. Avoiding eye contact. My mom moved into the guest room. My dad didn't even argue. The day the results came in, I was the one who opened the email. 99.7% match. My dad is Shayla's father. I didn't even cry. I laughed hard. Not because it was funny, but because it was too messed up not to. That man raised 2 daughters and fathered a third who called him Uncle Rob her whole life. And you know the part that really kills me? Shayla knew something was off. She once told me, I don't think my mom even likes me like that. Turns out, she didn't. Because every time she looked at her, she saw the man she couldn't fully have. And every time my mom looked at her, she saw the betrayal she let live under her roof. I told Shayla. I took her for milkshakes, and I told her the truth. She cried. I cried. Then she said, Does that mean you're my sister? And I said, Apparently. I guess we've always been closer than we thought. Levity. But make it trauma. After I told Shayla, everything shifted. She stopped calling my dad uncle, stopped going to Sunday dinners, stopped trying to fit in with people who couldn't even look her in the eye. And me, I was done playing daughter of the year. I moved out, not because I hated them, but because staying meant I was still in it. And I wasn't gonna rot in someone else's bad decisions. Before I left, I sat down with my dad. Just me and him. He tried to apologize. Said he never meant to hurt anyone. That it just happened. That he was lost. That grief made people do stupid things. And you know what? I believed him. I also didn't care. I looked him in the eye and said, You broke something in me, Dad. You didn't just cheat on Mom. You made me question every hug, every joke, every memory. And you didn't even stop when you had the chance. You chose chaos. So now I'm choosing peace. And I walked out. No hug, no tears, just silence. The next day, Trina moved in. My mom filed for divorce, and me, I blocked them both. It's been a year now. My mom is in therapy. She's smiling more. She got a tattoo on her wrist that says, Start again. Shayla's living with us while she finishes school. We laugh about how we accidentally became sisters. My dad? He tried to come to my birthday. I told him he could send a card. Trina? She's still around. But I think the shine wore off. My dad got what he wanted, and now he has to live with it every single day. There's this quote I read once. Sometimes you don't get closure. You just accept that certain people are garbage and walk away. That's what I did. I didn't burn the house down. I just walked out and let the fire they started eat them alive. And if you're listening to this and your gut is telling you something ain't right in your family, believe it, because secrets don't stay buried. They fester, and eventually, they crawl their way to the surface.